Talk about your contention that Alabama is a crossroads.
Oh, I think we're at a serious crossroads. I think we've seen such political divides in this state and this country. And I think the question for December 12th is whether voters want us to take a step forward or want to take a step backward. The issue is one of whether we're going to project an image of unity and equality and justice, or whether we're going to be a divisive hear the divisive kind of rhetoric that we see coming from the other side. I think Alabama's got a choice to make, and I think we can heal a lot of wounds in this country that are here and in the state. And I think people are looking at that. They want somebody to unify the state, want to unify the country. They want somebody who's going to reach across to try to find common ground and not just stake a claim one way and look down on people.
What were you talking about in here tonight?
In particular today, we were meeting with groups from Alabama State talking about criminal justice issues and how we can, in a bipartisan way, both protect our communities as well as reduce the incarceration rate. I think we can be very smart. These are bipartisan issues that Republicans and Democrats tend to agree on. And so we were going through a number of different options and how the system can be better to work to help all communities, regardless of whether it's Alabama or across the country, try to reduce the crime, keep our communities safer, but yet at the same time cut down on the cost of our criminal justice system, and not just in the financial cost, but on the cost, the collateral cost of incarceration.
So things like alternatives to incarceration, community policing, like those.
Absolutely. You know, community policing, I think, is a big one. We've got to restore some trust between law enforcement and communities. You know, police officers used to be known as peace officers. It was the neighborhood cop that would walk through and people could talk to him and you would know by his first name. We got to get back to that where all segments of society trust the police and we try to get rid of the divisions. I think we can do that, and I think there can be a number of alternatives to prison and to keep people out of the system. Also goes back to education, making sure that we have a good educational system to make sure that people make the right choices.
Talk about this election that you compared to the gubernatorial election of 1970.
Well, that's where we get back to the crossroads. You know, in 1970, we were trying to put a divisive past behind us. And Governor Brewer was a New South governor, who was trying to put that past behind us and do things like increase funding for education, expand Medicaid, do those kind of things. But in that election, which was a really dirty election, we saw the state went a different way, and I think the state suffered for it in many ways. We need to make sure that we send the right message across the country and across the state, that we're a people of unity. We're one that we truly will respect everyone, dignify everyone, and that we're not going to be a divisive, oppressive people. I think if we can send that message on December 12th, if we're not careful, I think we need to be the voice of unity across the state and across the country. We don't need to be throwing chaos into the United States Senate where it's already pretty chaotic.
You've criticized Roy Moore for, I guess, a lack of commitment about the CHIP program.
Yeah.
There are some proposals in Congress to renew CHIP that would include higher premiums on Medicare on wealthy Medicare recipients. There's another proposal to transfer ACA funds to shore up community health centers. What do you think of those proposals, and like what kind of CHIP renewal would you want to see?
Well, at this point, I think the devil is in the details. I think the important thing to remember about those programs is that people are reaching across the aisles. For the first time on health care, people are reaching across the aisle to try to talk to each other. Those are not going to be, whatever is submitted is not going to be the be-all to end-all. But I think that there can be ways that we can save the CHIP program. That's the most important thing, trying to work and hear the concerns of both sides of the issues concerning the money, where the money will come from. But obviously that's a pretty bipartisan issue that we favor, and apparently Roy Moore does not. So at least I'm going to go up there and try to work with the other side of the aisle to try to find the right way to do it. I don't see that coming from Roy Moore.
Well, speaking about Roy Moore, talk about him not being on the campaign trail and not talking about kitchen table issues like health care.
Well, we have crisscrossed this state, and we will continue to do so over the next 30 days, talking about health care, talking about jobs, talking about education. It's just now where we see Roy Moore starts to surface, but he doesn't want to talk about those issues. Our kitchen table of issues are the ones that people are concerned about every day of the week. They're the ones that affect their lives. It gets them good health care. It gets them good jobs. It gets good education. Roy Moore wants to continue to talk about nothing except issues that may divide us instead of issues that will unify us. People need to look at the histories of where he's come and what he's done. It has always been of one of division, pitting one segment of our society against the other. That's not where I am. It's not where I've ever been. And that's where I want to take this seat as a United States Senator to work for all people of Alabama, not just those that I'm okay with.